Hi class, this video is intended to teach you how to write an objective summary. An objective summary is one that does not include any of your opinions. You're just giving main points from the text. When writing an objective summary, you need to follow 4 simple steps. First, you need to read and annotate the text. You'll go ahead and use hashtag Cubs and write gist notes to help you determine the central idea, which is step number 2. As you're using hashtag Cubs, a tip would be to go ahead and circle all the who, what, where, when, and why details in the text. This will help you come up with the central idea of the entire text. Third, you're going to begin with a topic sentence. And finally, you'll use transition words and your gist notes to sequence the main points in the text. So step 1 is to read, annotate, and gist note the text. So here's an example. Over here I have a paragraph, but it's from a larger text. So this is just paragraph 3 in a text that has several paragraphs. You can see that I have circled some important information, some who and what. I've underlined other key details. I've boxed some new words, and I included some side commentary. So I use my annotations to help me come up with this gist note here. The gist of this paragraph in the text is that scientists discovered that the smell of rotting sharks keeps live sharks away, so they created chemicals with the same smell to try and repel sharks. Next, I want to determine the central idea of the whole text. The central idea is what the text is mostly about. So a hint for how to determine the central idea of the whole text is to circle the 5 W's as you annotate using hashtag Cubs. So I always read the text, I circle any of the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, why. Then I go ahead and underline any other important information, box unknown words, and add your side commentary where you're writing down things that surprise you or questions you have or connections you can make to other text. Step 3 is to begin your summary with a topic sentence. So your topic sentence for your summary is going to have 3 parts. In the first part, we're going to name it. When you're naming it, you're going to give the full title of the article, and you are also going to add the author. If the author is unknown, you will let the reader know what website you got the article from, or perhaps it's a magazine or a newspaper. Then you'll go ahead and verb it. So you're going to use a word like states or explains or shows or tells. And finally, you'll provide the central idea of the whole text using the 5 W's to help you figure out what the text is mostly about. Make sure that you state the central idea in your own words. So I used an example from the article Stopping Sharks by Blasting Their Senses. So this is what a topic sentence could sound like. So I'm starting by naming it. The article Stopping Sharks by Blasting Their Senses, written by Joseph Caputo. Now I'm going to verb it, explains, and then I'm going to give the central idea of the entire text in my own words. How a company called Shark Defense is testing various ways to repel sharks using chemicals. Step 4 is to use transition words and my gist notes to sequence the main points in the text. So here I have provided some transition words that you can use when you introduce your first main point. Then the middle part of your summary might include some of these transition words. And then here are the words that you will use when you get to the end of your summary, where you will restate the central idea of the text. So for example, if this idea sentence, a scientist discovered that the scent of rotting sharks actually keeps sharks away. That's a sentence that came from a just note from paragraph 3. So I use a transition word additionally, and then I put my just note into a sentence. So this would be an example from the middle part of my summary and not the first main point in my summary. Finally, I'm going to put all my ideas together and proofread so it makes sense. So here's a frame where my topic sentence is naming it, verbing it, gives a central idea. Then I've got some transition words to help me sequence the main points in my summary. When I get to my final transition word, this is where I'm going to restate the main idea here. I will not put a just note there. So here's an example of a complete summary. The article Stopping Sharks by Blasting Their Senses, written by Joseph Caputo, explains how a company called Shark Defense is testing various ways to repel sharks using chemicals. To begin, the scientists are looking for ways for people to swim safely in the ocean, so they are beginning to test ways to keep hungry sharks away. Additionally, scientists discovered that the scent of rotting sharks actually keeps live sharks away. Therefore, one of the scientists, named Eric Stored, made a chemical that smelled exactly the same as a dead and rotten shark. When scientists tested the chemical, they found out it worked like a charm. As hungry sharks were eating in the ocean, the chemical was released and they all swam away. Clearly, scientists are on the path to finding new ways to keep hungry sharks away from people. So you can see I used my final transition word, and here I am restating the central idea of the entire text. I hope this helps you write your own objective summaries.